Well, I did it. You did it. Hopefully, you did it. You did it in my house. You're going to clean it up. I can promise you that. I'm talking about you got clean, you got sober. Life is starting to bloom. You get a job, you start getting those paychecks. Then this whole nother problem just might sneak up, one that you didn't expect to see coming. And that problem is money. What the hell are we supposed to do with it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sober Stacker. I woke up sober this morning because I went to bed sober last night. Guys, today is 1,416 days of continuous sobriety. I need to take a minute and make a small correction. In my last video, I had not looked up my sobriety days. I'm pretty sure I say 1,431. Giving myself too many days credit for my sobriety, so 1,416 days of going to bed sober and waking up sober. Now let's talk money. Why in the hell is money so confusing in recovery? Early recovery, later recovery. I was 2 years into my sobriety, almost 2.5 years, before I even started thinking about money and what to do with it. Now I jumped in buying silver, both feet. I jumped in both feet, head first, cannonball, any way you can think about it, I jumped in. I never learned the fundamentals, the basics of money. Now, money used to be, for me, in my active addiction, money was a tool. I'm not even going to call it a tool, it was a ticket. A tool has a use. It was a ticket that we traded to go numb, to feed our active addiction, to feed the demon, to escape reality. That was the only use money had. We never learned any money skills during our active addiction. We never learned financial planning. So now we're clean, we're sober, we're starting to get those paychecks. We still have those old habits that want to creep in, that instant gratification. I got a pocket full of money now. I'm paying some bills, maybe, hopefully, maybe you paid half of it. I don't know. I'm just saying. We're starting to learn responsibility now. And we have money that is used for other purposes than what we used to use money for. So when those old habits kick back in, we may go out and just blow it. We go spend and spend and spend, and that keeps us broke. And then when we're broke, here comes the stress. And when the stress kicks in, that may trigger that old feeling of, you know what, hell with it, I'm going to relapse. So let's be careful of that. Let's learn what to do with money. Money is now about control. It's about confidence. It's about our security. We need to learn money just like we learn sobriety, one day at a time, one paycheck at a time. Now, the first step, I talked about this in my last video. There is a audio book or even a physical copy, if you want to do that, of a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this was recommended to me by Thousandaire Radio. And the reason I'm mentioning this book again is because I'm just absolutely engulfed in this book. I love it. The first 3 rules are where I'm at right now. I'm actually still on rule number 1. Rule number 1 is when you get your paycheck, before you spend any of it, you take 10% of that That's yours. That is your money. Set that money aside. It is not used for gas. It is not used to pay a bill. It's not used to go buy a soda or an energy drink. Save it. Set it aside. Because when you see that stack start to grow, when you see those little increments, no matter what it is, man, even if it's $10 a week, $20 a week, $50 a week, whatever, 10%, hopefully you can put a little more than that, but 10%. When that starts to grow and you start seeing it, that builds confidence, that builds security, it builds patience, which is very, very important to somebody in early recovery because we're not used to patience. We're used to, I want it right now, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get it right now. So it's a whole new mindset. I've I've heard people say, "Yeah, put that money in a Roth IRA, and in 25 years you'll have," and that right there, 25 years, dude. You don't understand my mindset. I want to know what to do with this money right now and be rich by tomorrow. Well, it don't work like that. It absolutely does not work like that unless you take some of that money and get lucky and hit the lotto. Good luck with that. That ain't gonna happen. I maybe scratch off tickets. I don't recommend them. I don't do them. I hate them. I don't hate them. I just don't buy them. I'll never win the lottery because I don't play. So anyway, we have bills now. We have groceries. We have gas. We have responsibilities. So learning exactly how to manage money and save it is extremely important. So that's step one, that 10%. Once you see that and you hit a goal, set yourself a goal. Now, I've gone way overboard in some of my videos because I'm a recovering alcoholic. And we are usually very bold, very boisterous people that don't really think about what we're saying before we say it. That's just the way we're used to living. But set an achievable goal. Mine right now is just 1 week. 1 week of saving my paycheck, my 10%. Once I save that 10%, then the next step is to figure out what to do with it. Do I invest it in a silver round or save it in a savings account with a high yield savings account? Do I open up one of those? There are many options to do. I don't recommend, I am not, if you haven't figured this out yet, I'm not a financial advisor. So don't say, oh, that sober stacker dude said to do this. Don't. I'm not saying do anything other than save that 10%. That I am saying. That is crucial. I am absolutely loving being able to save 10%. But what do we do with it next? That is an important decision. It's a decision that can boost your confidence, because if you go out and you buy a 1 ounce silver round, you got $60 for the week, or whatever, $100 maybe, and you go out and you buy some silver and you're not real sure about how silver and gold work, and you check the price on Monday and the price has dropped $2 an ounce, and you think, well, shit, that was a bust. I shouldn't have done that. Be careful, because you want something in early recovery that will boost your confidence. So I guess what I'm saying is probably a savings account would be better. But again, not financial advice, guys. Please don't say, oh, that sober stacker dude told me to do this. let's just take it slow. Slow progress is still progress. Even if it's just a little bit at a time and you sit on it for a couple of weeks and let it build up, maybe it's not working right now, but it's also not causing problems. Stick it in a drawer, stick it in a shoebox, put it somewhere until you're ready to figure out what your next step is. The next step for me is, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we'll figure it out together. Guys, I appreciate you sticking around. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come hang out with a sober guy, man. We'll figure this money thing out together. If you're in early sobriety and you're like me and you just confused all the damn time. You know, like I said, I went out and just jumped both feet in the water with gold and silver. Not big gold, fractional gold, little small pieces. But as you can see right now, those pieces are out of sight, out of mind. The reason is because I need to learn the fundamentals, the basic foundation of cash, that filthy fiat, that cabbage, that lettuce, those dineros. Let's learn that first and then move on. You guys have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed Thursday. I'll see you in the next video.